Untitled Gore Project, Chapter 4, by Ripley Stonebrook. First contact. Fran stumbled away from the barn, her head spinning. She wonders if she's going to faint like a heroine in a novel and crouches down on the ground to catch her breath. Squatting on the ground, she half crawls into the shade under a bush next to the path, wanting to curl into a ball, fighting the urge to run screaming into the woods. From her sprawled hiding place in the bushes, she saw Fiona finally arriving at the barn. Fran, suspecting now that Fiona had horrible plans for her in the barn of horrors, kept silent. Fiona looked round guiltily before going into the barn, closing the door behind. The urge to run gripped Fran instantly, and she was about to jump from onto the path and escape, when she saw someone else running towards the back of the barn, wrapped in some filthy rags, or maybe tattered robes that concealed their identity. Her mouth opened to scream, to warn Fiona maybe. She didn't know, but before she could, they had run in the back door of the barn. And now it was Fiona's time to scream, it would seem. The front door of the barn burst open as the two fought their way out of the barn, Fiona tumbling to the ground at the feet of the robed attacker whose hands wielded some kind of giant cleaver. Fran's hands went to her mouth, biting her fist to keep from screaming as Fiona's head flew from her body in a spray of blood. Fran's eyes blurred into a red fog as she watched what happened next to the body. Light lunch. The rehabbers and executives entered the hall for light lunch. The rehabbers clutched their handbooks to their chests. The executives did the same with their clipboards. Madame sat at the head of a long table. A dinner was set out before her in elaborate serving dishes and cutlery. Silver domes hid the food beneath. "A morning star welcome to you all," she said, raising her hands above her head. "A wonderful buffet has been laid out for you," pointing to the cold gray masses of food laid out on sheets of aluminum foil directly on the table next to stacks of paper plates and plastic cutlery. "We have various mashed root vegetables and cold porridges for you. These foods have been specially chosen to help you curb your disgusting urges and violent tendencies." Luann and Deborah sit at the head of the table with Madame before she waves them away with her dishes towards the buffet tables as well. "You must serve as an example for your charges, ladies, if you expect results." Madame smirked as they skulked to the masses of food with the other ladies. All struggle to scoop food onto their plates while holding their books or clipboards, till Deborah figures out to use her clipboard as a tray, and the others follow suit. As they all move to the table, they see that Madame is just taking the covers from her trays. The largest one in front of her holds a whole roast. It is long and has legs, appearing to be a rabbit, perhaps. Madame takes the whole thing in her hands, sinking her teeth into its belly meat, juices dripping from her mouth onto the table. As the others watch on, she begins to lecture them all on the benefits of vegetables, a clean diet, simple foods, good exercise, all while slurping the meat off the bones in front of her and slathering and drooling grease running down her chin. Her voice grows louder and shriller as the others quietly try to eat their mash, while avoiding the horrific display at the front. "And your manuals. You should be reading your manuals at all times. The history of this place, our techniques, and your training." Her voice was cut off as the doors to the hall burst open. Fran leaned on the door for a moment before collapsing into the hall, screaming, "It's out there! It's out there!" The rehabbers sat in their chairs, too shocked to do anything else. Luann yelled to the rest of the room, "Don't listen to any of this. She just wants attention, or..." And here she paused to look at Fran with disgust, "to avoid rehab." She looked at her fellow executive with smug satisfaction. "Isn't that right?" "You don't understand," Fran scrambled towards the table covered in mud and leaves, her arms flailing as her sneakers squeaked on the floor, threatening to spill her again to the floor. "Crazy cat things! She's got a cat head! A cat head! It's stitched on her body!" Madame threw her meal to the plate with a clatter. "Nonsense, you're crazy, and what's more..." She didn't have a chance to finish her sentence as the one of the windows at the other end of the hall exploded in a shower of glass. A swift black mass had flown through the window, landing on the floor briefly before pouncing on top of the table before them. It roared, and now they could see, through the mud, branches, and leaves, the body of Fiona. But where her head should be was the roaring, snarling head of a black panther. Coarse white ropes shone on the black fur, showing where it had been stitched to the maid's body. Madame, cool-headed in the face of danger, threw her heavy silver platter at the thing and screamed, "Follow me!" as she ran out the back door. The tray bounced off the creature's chest and clattered to the floor. The beast leaped after it, thinking it was prey, allowing the others to run screaming out of the room. Madame, waiting by the doors, threw a heavy iron bolt, locking the thing in the other room. "Well, here we are." Madame smiled at the other ladies in the hallway with her. Hello, bonjour. I'm Crandall. Welcome to the podcast that answers the question, if an infinite number of monkeys will write Shakespeare, what can a few dozen monkeys do? I guess we're all the monkeys because together we are here to write a story. 10 chapters, 1,000-word limit on each chapter. In episode 1, we rolled the dice in the die tower, and the genre, as you may have guessed from what you just heard in chapter 4, is horror. The subgenre is gore. And next, of course, we're going to write chapter 5, and although last chapter 4, was written by a friend of the pod, Ripley Stonebrook, thank you, Ripley. You have an opportunity to write chapter 5 and to add to this beautiful story, or as I learned it was called, Exquisite Corpse. There will be a brainstorm to help you out there, so don't worry. You're like, I don't have no ideas. I don't know what I'm supposed to write. The brainstorm's coming. I can feel it in my old bones. The brainstorm is based on the beats. And for the beats, we go to our guru of this season of the podcast, T.L. Bodine, linked everywhere. But we aren't just going to use T.L. Bodine's beautiful and powerful beat sheet. And thank you very much, T.L. Bodine, wherever you may be. We're also going to be getting some tips and tricks on how to write a horror gore story, and here is our guru tip for this episode. According to T.L. Bodine, invoke common, relatable imagery alongside the gross part. Gore seems a whole lot more disgusting when we can imagine it clearly. Not just in a faraway context, but right here at home, by juxtaposing what we are intimately familiar with and what is alien and horrifying. We literally make it hit closer to home. Wow, thank you, T.L. Bodine. I gotta say, I don't know if you used the word literally correctly there, but that's fine, because we love you anyway. Oh, you hear that? I think it's time for a brainstorm. That means I have to sneak through the Spooky Room Productions secret door into the Spooky Room Productions lounge, and hopefully someone will be there to brainstorm with us. Let's go. Oh, and here we are in the Spooky Room Productions lounge, and over in his usual chair is that Ripley Stonebrook. Hey, Rip.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good. I see we're already inside the secret passage.
Yeah, that's that's the way I like to get to the lounge from the recording studio. Do you not take the secret passage when you come to the lounge?
Secret passage.
Oh. Anyway, Rip, thank you for writing that chapter. It was really fun.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Oh, there was one thing that I did notice that I was like, whoops, and maybe it was something that I did wrong and I should address it in case I confused other people as well. In your chapter, when you referred to a group of people that you called the executives, and then you differentiated those people from the rehabbers, but in my chapter, the chapter before, when I kept saying executives, I was talking about the rehabbers. So if that was not clear to anyone else, I am really sorry. Whoopsies.
But the rehabbers are executives. It's true.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. So, but it's fine. Whatever. That's kind of the point of what we're doing here.
It happens.
It does.
Happens with exquisite corpsing. It happens.
What's that? What's an exquisite corpsing?
That's what one person writes the first chapter, and then the next person writes the second chapter.
Oh, I didn't know it was a thing.
Exquisite corpse.
What? What? Okay.
That's what it's called.
I believe you. I'm baffled. I'm just baffled. I just didn't know it. And
I don't know
we've
why
been
it has
doing
such a
this.
weird name.
We've been doing this for this is the 5th or 6th episode, and you just told me about it right now. I suppose you thought I already knew.
I'm random.
Oh, okay. He is chaos. All right, so let's talk about chapter 5 and the 2 beats that will be required. Here we go. We'll be working on beat number 7 called The Chase. That will be 666 words max. The monster pursues the characters who lack the skills to fight it. 1 or more people may die here. So that's exciting.
That's the coming up?
That's the full 666 beat part of the chapter. The second part, the 333 or half beat, we're going to be working on beat number 8. Failed confrontation.
Oh no.
The main character attempts to destroy the monster but does not yet possess the ability to do so. I guess that begs the question, who's the main character?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Who amongst all of these people will be the main character?
The person who's done the most so far is Fran, but I would actually kind of like to pass the torch a little.
Yeah.
Who else is there? There's like...
Well, let's get the rundown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at our
home.
characters. You're right. I'm an asshole. Just a second. So, if we're going to pass the torch, let's explore our options. I'm going to go down the list of characters that you can find at spookyroomproductions.com. Check it out. Okay, we have Fiona, she is now the bad guy, right? She's the one with the cat head.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and then there's Elsie, who is the older... I don't think she would want to fight the monster. She seems to be on the side of the monster.
Oh, yes. Isn't she the one that's in the barn that actually made the monster?
Yeah, that's right.
So, no.
Yeah, Hank could come back. A surprise! Hank shows back up. He was the bus driver.
Oh, real nice. Real nice. We'll have the man show up.
Oh my God, you're right.
Save
He's the only man in the whole story.
And you said it. Disgusting.
Oopsies. Or
disgusting.
We can go to Luann. Now, which one is she? Oh, she's one of the what you called the executives. She's one of the people who are running the I don't know, paperwork side. How would you describe that?
They're the ones that are actually running the retreat. And originally we were saying that, and then Morningstar turned into the people that are running the retreat, so they became just the
monitors.
HR
yeah,
people.
that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
HR. Well, they're HR now.
Okay, so Luann, HR, she's the short one. She is the mouthy one. Yeah, because one of the clipboard ladies is mouthier than the other one. I think Luann is the mouthy one. Do you have an automatic yes or no, or should we just put her in the maybe pile?
No. Neither of the HR people.
Okay, so Deborah is out as
Definitely
well.
Gotta be one
All right, here we go. Now we're into the rehabbers of Esther. She was the one that was talking to Fran in the cabin, and she's a rich lady, so she's probably like, I don't know, snotty or something. We could just lean into it. We have Fran, which, we like Fran, but Fran's already done a lot. Then we have Beth.
Isn't Fran the monster now?
No, Fran. No. Fran is the one who
Oh, right.
saw
Fiona
the
is
monster.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Then Beth. Who's that one? Red hair. Meeker, it says there. Beth is Meeker. But, and then we have Stella, who is hot-tempered and sweary. So I think Stella should die.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun when a mouthy person dies.
Yeah, so she could raise up and seem to be like she's going to become the
Yeah.
hero, and then like, oh, they'd take her out.
Maybe she'll do some damage to the monster, but she won't kill it. It'll actually kill her. But I don't know. Because, if she's already fiery, then she'll naturally be the person who, I guess, would step up.
Yeah, and Fran is more like, if not the hero, then like a final girl at this point, because so much has happened to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, Manovna.
Yeah. That's true. Has her mental health taken a hit? Like, is she crazy at all after what she's seen?
Is she losing some sanity points?
Yeah, has she lost some sanity points?
Yeah, she's gonna be kind of wobbly for a bit.
Cold sake.
Oh no. So I guess we're left with Fran or Beth, really.
Okay. We can.
Not Fran, so I guess Beth. I guess Beth is coming up as maybe our hero.
Okay. Cool. Too bad we don't know much. I suppose we can. You know what? Let's go back to the.
See, now's time for Beth to find her voice.
Yes. Yeah, we can.
And she's in the cabin with Stella, so that's good. They're already paired up.
Stella's the one that's gonna die right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So that'll be a good duo for them.
Okay. Yeah.
And she'll go along and she'll watch her die and go, oh no, I know the way. Maybe I should find clues in my book.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
All right.
And plus, we still have the Madam situation.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Madam. I didn't even write Madam on this list. And obviously, she's not going to be there.
She's almost a force of nature instead of a character.
There you go.
Madam.
So, Madam of obviously... Okay, should we talk about what the end game of these monsters is? It's like the monsters...
Do we know?
No, we don't know. But, I don't know. It's weird to write a story and not know the shape of it. Okay, let's go back to...
And do we even know if Madam called the shot to actually have Fiona killed?
I would think so. Oh, you mean as in the Elsie, the older maid?
Maybe
she's
just
gone
did
rogue?
It on her own, yeah. Because remember, there was that... It didn't make it into the story, but in our notes, you're like, Madam looks a little surprised that we're starting so early.
Oh, was that in the...
It was one of the notes for the beats in the
okay.
The last
okay.
we were talking about.
Yeah. As you will find at spookyroomproductions.com, a few dozen monkeys, we have all this information here, there, everywhere.
I believe we talked about it in the last one.
Yeah, but every time we do a brainstorm, I type it up and put it on the so that way if you need inspiration, because I know
she might not have called for that specific one to get monsterfied or even monsterfying happening yet.
You're right. So maybe Madam turns around, she's the hero of the story.
Just to to get revenge on Elsie.
Yeah,
she's like, oh,
she's like, oh, bitch. Fuck you. No, you know what? I think you're onto something. I think we're getting a little bit of shape
between Elsie
and
Madam.
We're getting a little bit of shape here, and I feel like Elsie did do that on her own.
Maybe Elsie is like, you know what? Madam's been in charge for too fucking long.
Yeah.
She's forgetting why we're here, whatever that may be.
I don't even know. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just fucking going with it. Fuck you, bitch. And I'm gonna take this one and the monster.
Yeah.
And hopefully the monster will take Madam first. And it didn't work out that way.
Actually, is it in the story specifically that Elsie is with them in the hallway outside of the room?
No, she's not there.
She's obviously she's not. Yeah. Because Elsie.
Because in the story she's still in the barn.
She's still in the barn. She
wasn't
even
when the
there.
monster came out. Yeah. Doing whatever thing she did, and then she finished the monster, and the monster went and ran off faster than a woman can.
That makes sense. Okay. So because Elsie does the monster like Elsie? I guess is what I'm getting at.
It's a creator.
That's what I mean, but sometimes monsters aren't into that.
And maybe not necessarily even against Madam. But Madam may be the one that usually makes the monsters. So.
Oh, so maybe Matt will be like, yo, this is just another monster that is in my control. But the thing is, Madam would know better.
Well, maybe Madam has like some sort of special amulet or something that gives her some control, but not complete control.
Because she wasn't the one who created the monster? Sure.
Or something got stolen from her, whatever.
I think this is how terrible movies are made. You know, like when you watch a terrible movie and you're like, what the fuck? Like, and you're confused.
Oh, yeah.
And it's supposed to all make sense. And maybe it did because they all just talked about it. But then when it came down to actually writing it, they only wrote a certain part.
And they left out major scenes. We're like, oh, yeah, that scene would have explained that
yeah,
if you put it in
like,
there,
whoops.
but I forgot.
Yeah, we only talked about it. It's implied.
It's fine. They'll figure it out.
Anyway.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They don't understand the crystal's purpose. The purpose of the crystal is pretty clear, I think.
All right. Okay, let's look specifically at the beats real quick. So we have the chase, which is their 666 word. The monster pursues the characters who lack the skills to fight it. One or more people may die here. So obviously we can literally have a chase. We have a monster on the loose. So right now, everyone except Elsie is outside of the dining room behind a bolted door. I assume they will leave the house. Does Madam have a plan? Is she going to be like, okay, everyone, we have to get to the bunker?
Well, this might be a modified version of their regular plan anyway, where this would normally be what happens, and then she, gets them behind this door, and then, picks them off one by one using the monster or something. We don't know.
Okay, maybe. Well, maybe.
But that door had that lock on it for a purpose.
I see.
Or maybe she'd usually just run behind the door, lock it, and then the monster would kill the people.
Wait a minute. What if someone was left behind in that room with the monster?
But they weren't. You can't go back and change things.
You know what? You're right, because once something is in the story, it's in the story. And
she's in the cock-a-doodle hallway. You can't put her back in the room.
You're right.
That's not right.
You're right. We have to respect what people do. And I'm respecting you.
That's right.
All right. So, they're all out of the dining room. They're going to leave the house. The monster is chasing them. Does the monster smash through a window or something? What happens?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Okay.
It could just go, you end up breaking down that door eventually, or come around to the other side. Well, actually, it's not very long, so you have to get Elsie back in there. Like the one who's still stuck in the barn.
Okay,
we got to get her back into the story.
Okay,
somehow.
so let's say they run outside, and then Elsie is out there.
Or Elsie could come into the hallway.
If
she's had some time while the monster's coming around the front, she might be going around the back. And that will get the plot moving again, because they're running away from the monster. They know they're safe for the moment. But that monster's going to break down that door or come in another way, so they're heading in another direction. Elsie comes in through the other door, and then we see, through their interaction of Madam and Elsie, what the situation is between them. Because we don't care what the situation is, but we have to see it through the characters interacting, so that'll be our chance to make whatever plot you want to happen there.
Yeah.
Whether Elsie lives or dies or moves on or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get Elsie in there, and then whatever situation is happening, because if you wanted them to not get killed right away, then that's when the monster can attack to separate them again.
Yeah, like a little information dump.
Yeah, like 2 paragraphs was like, blah, 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 I'm sick of your shit. And
the
blah,
monster
blah, blah,
can
blah.
break it up.
And then they can separate, and we've got.
And then Stella can attack at that time. Because we decided Stella's going to try to beat it up, and she's going to get killed.
Yeah. Well, we can have them separate. We have 2 groups of girls. So one Cabin's-worth can go with Elsie, and one Cabin's-worth can go with Madam. And then whatever group the Elsie is with is the one that gets attacked by the monster, and then we can see Elsie die. Not Elsie,
Stella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that dun 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 dun. Then you get someone dies that gets you through that plot point and gets you on to the next chapter, which is what?
The darkest hour. Every hope appears lost. Perhaps someone very important has died, or the hero has tried everything they can think of. The link between the internal conflict and monster may become clear to the character here. Thank you, T.L. Bodine.
The internal conflict.
Oh, shit.
Sexual harassment.
I guess. The link between the internal conflict and the monster. Uh-oh. Well, I suppose just... I don't know. Is this going to be
Sexy monster time?
Is this a slut-shaming book? Because if you think
I
about
don't
it...
like that.
Neither do I. Neither do I. I think that's ridiculous.
Maybe.
But then again, what the hell am I
You want
saying?
the harassment
Sexual
to be right?
harassment. Exactly.
You know what? Harassment is okay. Yeah?
Don't slut-shame. That's not... Okay.
Sexual harassment lawsuits is just slut shaming.
Oh, maybe I didn't think about it the whole way through before I started talking. Okay. And that's a brainstorm, okay? That's a brainstorming.
Mm-hmm,
That's what you do.
So you massage that idea. At some point, apparently, the conflict has to happen.
Yes, okay. So, but that's not this chapter anyway. That's next one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. No, I'm good. That's good. So they're all in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Elsie comes in. There's a little bit of back and forth between Elsie and Madam to kind of show us what's going on there.
And splitting of the party.
The monster comes through. Half go with Elsie, half go with Madam.
And plus, either group doesn't know what happens to the other group, so we can still put it on a note of like, well, it's going to happen which way or the other. And plus, they have to pick a side, and they can't pick the side of the monster, so they have to pick a side of one of these ladies. Which one is it going to be?
Oh, so let's say that both Madam and Elsie are like, no, you have to come with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the ladies, the rehabbers, have to decide who they're going to go with.
And at the end, it's really they want them to go with them because they're going to use them for a sacrifice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, because this is only the first half of Failed Confrontation, which is the main character attempts to destroy the monster but does not yet possess the ability to do so. So, who did we decide? Esther was the main character? Who did we decide? I fucking forget. Oh, it was Beth. It was Beth. It was Beth.
Yeah.
Oh, good, because she's with Stella. Okay, so that works.
Yeah, Stella's the mouthy one. She's going to die.
So,
Beth is with her.
So after Stella dies, Beth talks to Elsie. I don't know why, but I'm assuming Beth and Stella go with Elsie. And I don't know, starts figuring something out. Something, I don't know, because Elsie's evil. Like, why would she help her out?
And plus, Stella, she could have just been one of those people that would bring a gun.
Yeah.
Who's checking a gun when they come to rehab? Nobody.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to drug rehab where they have to search to make sure they have, stuff on them. They're like, oh, do you have any sexual harassment with you? Huh? So they're not going to search if she could have a little gun. And you're like, all right, well, I'm just going to take this monster. Let's just fucking take it out. It's not a big deal.
Oh, my God. Honestly, though, we could kill this monster. And there could be a different monster later.
Oh.
I don't think that's what we should do. But I'm just saying that is...
It's totally possible, because you can kill this monster, and then the bog monster
there's more
could be
heads.
the main monster.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's more heads.
And there's
it
more
can end
heads.
up on... What's her name?
Stella!
Stella!
Oh, my God! Okay, so the monster kills Stella, drags away the body, question mark?
Or Stella could kill the monster.
Or Stella could kill the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're cooking.
But then Madam kills Stella.
Madam kills... I thought they would be with Elsie.
Well, one of the heroes has to die. That's the beat.
One of the heroes. Yeah, Stella.
Yeah. So she kills Stella and then drags her off or does something.
No, wait, what? Wait, what? The cats took the tunnel and they put it in the other room. When did they do that?
I don't know, but I can hear them going.
I know. I was like, what is that noise? They have a play tunnel. It was right here.
It's coming in on the mics. I heard it over here.
Oh, my God.
Kitties.
Anyway, okay.
Oh, my God, cat monsters.
So, there's a lot there to work with. How do you feel about that
There's a lot
brainstorm?
of options for you. That's going to be good.
So, everyone, hey, Rip, you want to encourage people to write their chapter and send it in?
You know what? There's a lot of options here for you. This is one of the chapters that has the most opportunities for you to really stretch your creative muscles. Really just put down something really nice. You can send it on in.
You can go to SpookyRoomProductions.com.
Spooky Room Productions with an S.
With an S. And you want to...
At both ends.
That's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to shout out your socials and shit?
No, I'm good. SpookyRoomProductions.com is where you can find everything about Ripley, Stonebrook, or Crandom.
There you go.
Mm.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Rip. Have a good time. Are you coming out of the lounge anytime soon, or you plan on spending the evening?
I'm going to come out of the lounge.
Oh, okay. Are you going to use my secret passage or your secret passage?
The secret passage, which leads to your passage.
Oh.
Fat passage.
Okay.
That fat passage.
All right, I'm just going to squeeze here through this fat passage, and I'll see you later. Thank you. Wow, what a great brainstorm. Thank you so much again, Ripley, for sharing and for helping us on our journey to completing this project. Now, you may be ready to write, you may be excited. Well, guess what? The world is full of rules, and this also applies here. So, you can go to spookyroomproductions.com to the A Few Dozen Monkeys page and look at the rules in their fullality. That's a word, sure it is. And I would suggest you doing that if you want to write in. There are 9 rules and regulations, and it would feel kind of weird to not at least give you a taste of what they are. So here we are with the 15-second R&R. Rule number 1. Every podcast, I will explain the beat. You'll hear the brainstorm. You can do our brainstorm ideas. You can do your own idea. All you got to do is cover the beat. Sorry, I feel like I'm panicking. Oh, I have 15 seconds. Oh, I have 2 seconds. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. I got myself together. Here we go. Rule 2. Each chapter has a 1,000 word limit. Damn it. 1,000 word limit. There's 10 chapters. I'll have a beat and a half per chapter. Kind of 666 words, 1 beat, 333 words, half beat, obviously. Oh. Rule 3. Any form is fine. You can write a haiku, a screenplay format, a prose. You can stay in your comfort zone. You can experiment. You can, as long as it fulfills the beats, baby. 1,000 word limit. Oh. Rule 4. Keep things R. And we're talking about the detail and the sex and the violence. Now, this is a gore story. There's going to be violence. It's going to be detailed. I believe T.L. Bodine desires that in this story and has counseled us. Oh, God. Rule 5. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm going to read it exactly as it is presented to me. I'm going to read it with your grammar, your spelling, your punctuation, but it doesn't have to be perfect, my friend. You can be as rough as you like. Oh, here we are. Rule 6. Research is optional. You can mix things up. You can tell the truth. You can research. If it fits the beats, we will all accept it as the truth in the story from then on. So let your... Oh. Rule 7, the tombola. There will be a random draw of qualified entries. If you were selected, your chapter will be read on the podcast and be forever part of the story. If there are no Okay, Rule 8. We're almost there, friends. How to submit. You submit your 1,000 word limit chapter at spookyroomproductions.com at the A Few Dozen Monkeys page. You can use your... Oh, okay. Rule number 9. There is actually an illustrated podcast, which is what I'm calling it, on YouTube at Crandall Monk. And you can submit 1 piece per submission period of a JPEG of a picture of whatever you like. Oh. Well, there you go. I hope now you know. And please keep in mind, there's no sign up. There's no reading fee, but you will also get no payment ever besides the shout out that and all the power that a person with 6 subs on YouTube can give you. That's the power I wield, and I will wield it for you. Like, I don't need your email. I don't need you to sign up for anything. I hate that shit. Doesn't that shit drive you crazy? Out in the world, you're just trying to do stuff and everything is like, you have to sign up. And it's like, oh my God, like, fuck off. Anyway, personal gripes aside, I think it's time for one last thing before we say goodbye. Maybe 2 last things, but this is an important one, and it is the author quote. According to Neil Gaiman, how do you do it? You do it. You write. You finish what you write. On the whole, anything that gets you writing and keeps you writing is a good thing. Anything that stops you writing is a bad thing. Thank you, Mr. Gaiman. I think that's exactly what we all needed to hear right now. So, get to writing. The submissions will close on July 17th, 2024, and the next podcast will drop on August 3rd, 2024. Everything is linked everywhere. Go ahead to spookyroomproductions.com or to Crandall Monk on YouTube to join this crazy party that we're all having now. It's time to start writing and illustrating. And remember, it's better to finish something than to give up on everything. You know what I mean? Let's go.